Hello and welcome to the Gold Advantage on the Best3 Network, where we are covering the second week of the LCS Playoffs. We had an amazing week one. I was extremely happy with the way CLG and C9 delivered in their Clash of the Titans. Super fun match.
Titans.
This week, we have two matches that are not so fun, two matches that I think should be really fun.
Incorrect.
Incorrect.
TSM Flyquest is going to be a fucking banger. I promise you that.
You think TSM Fly? All right. Well, look.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't even matter if it doesn't even
series?
matter if it's a fucking banger, because it's fucking TSM and GG, both of two teams that shouldn't even be in this.
Exactly.
Agreed. No business at all.
But they're going to get
But we love it.
And then they're going to justify the reason that they have the 7th and 8th place team. I just want to shout out C9 and CLG. It was like, what a series. Some mistakes on both sides. CLG had it so close, and we did call it the veterancy. I think just the experience on the side of Cloud9 is what helped them make less mistakes, which ultimately won them the series. But just what a fun match. What a fun match back and forth. And also viewership peaked. And this is what I think the LCS, because there's been a lot of talk about LCS viewership is dying, blah, 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 is people need to, and these teams need to stop worrying about trying to play LCK picture perfect league, because there are not 6 teams in the LCS that can play that level. So having one team play that way against 9 others is like a waste of time. Instead, we should just play fucking balls to the walls. Just fight everywhere.
You got a little bit of that.
Shit. Give us the entertainment. Give the people what they want, which is blood. And they delivered.
You got a lot of that in Game 4, and it was pretty one-sided. Actually, I mean, like, there were 2 games in there where CLG just looked like there was only one key on the keyboard. But I mean, it's League, so you click, I guess, for movements. It's not exactly the same thing, but it's fucking press W and go. And that's what they did. Now, again, experience showed through. I think the standout player in Map 5, low-key, boring as shit, but Sven on the Lulu, I think it was a crucial pick that won them that map. And I will say this, the maturity that was shown by Berserker to kind of hold their own in lane, it's exactly what we talked about last week, the exact opposite, kind of. Like, he's so mechanically gifted, but sometimes there are these, like, mishaps to where they will get so far behind in bot lane for no reason. And it's probably his fault. But a lot of maturity shown, but also a lot of maturity by CLG. They made some decisions in there.
He got player of the series, so for a reason, and he did. He took over, especially in that last game on that Sivir, he completely took over.
Late in the game, he won them that game. Yeah. Like, easily.
Yeah.
It was very clear.
Maturity. I think they just showed a lot of, like, heart. They went down, they came back again. It was just I don't want to spend too much time on this, but it was a fun game. I'm happy it went to 5, and I think there were 2 games that really CLG should have won. The Baron throw, which was unfortunate, and then the game 5 where Doka gets caught in the top, and then unfortunately Luga goes way too ham into the bushes. He's playing without flash and cleanse.
Yeah, it was such a ridiculous play.
Yeah, it was such a bad play, but I think
also
completely a rookie play to make. He smelled blood and just wanted.
Yeah, he thought he was Danny. He was cosplaying Danny. But also at the same time, C9's read on that to have someone just sitting in that bush is like, it's very well read.
It's a little bit baity though, right? Like, they just kind of know that he's going to be a little too young and a little too inexperienced to go for that.
It's disappointing though, because
I think that I make when I play. I'm like, oh, I'm definitely gonna get this kill, and then all of a sudden, of course, it's the guy waiting in the bush.
Yeah. You're like, this is my moment to get my penta, or like my triple, or my quadra kill. I'm Zeri, like, watch me fucking go. And I guarantee he forgot he was running Ghost instead of Flash, and so that was it. That was it.
It's
cost him the series. He won't make that mistake again though. Or if he is, he's off the team. That's for sure.
Partially disappointing, because I think, like, at times during that series, as a full 5-man, CLG made some really good and very mature decisions, like, not to push things out that they didn't need to, that, like, an overeager team that thought they were underdogs would make. But, sometimes the mistakes will come through. At the same time, I think Game 5, yes, Berserker popped off, but I think the player that won them that game and kept them in it for so long, when I think C9 probably should have lost earlier, was Jensen on the LeBlanc.
Yeah.
It was such a crucial pick to like just give them staying power to where they wouldn't lose, and he honestly is the MVP of that map.
There's a reason why he is where he is, kind of like as a player. So we have 4 matches this weekend. TSM Flyquest kicks it off. CLG Golden Guardians next.
You guys don't want to. You guys don't want to recap Flyquest losing to Team Liquid?
I mean, I had it exactly correct.
Yeah, it was 3-1.
Like I literally picked that scoreline last week.
Exactly. It was a great. I don't really. I think you know what?
Just quickly.
Really well
after
game 1.
I was gonna say after game 1, when you see
I'm not
18
surprised
to
as to
9,
what happened.
2 Barons, 5 Dragons,
Yeah.
a commanding game. Were you like a little worried?
No, because TL doesn't typically get outlaned, and it happened for 1 map, and then I expected after that to just good night.
It was also, we talked about it. We said Flyquest is good enough, and Tukui will have a game where he pops off and wins. And, you know, Philip had that game as well, and then got dumpstered the next 3 games. Like, when you look at his KD across the next 3, I think it's like 0-17 and something. So it's exactly where I thought it would be. I don't think it's a terrible showing from Flyquest, and I think TL was just the better team. And I can see why, you know, the prediction that EG wouldn't pick TL to face up against was right.
Can I just say,
Yeah,
Hansama is a beaut, and that he played so goddamn well, even in the game that they lost. I expect. I mean, look, we've been on Hansama from his LEC days. I have. If they win this, I expect Hansama to be the MVP.
Sure.
of the playoffs. I mean, yeah. I think usually it's going to come down to like an ADC or mid laner. So
I think ADC is very strong at the moment, and I think TL decided to funnel resources towards Hans. So it's
ADC is like extremely strong, but jungle setting up everything at the moment.
It's like jungle mid is so important, but I do think that how your ADC plays can decide the match essentially.
Yeah,
100%.
So just running through it again. Sorry,
are
I didn't finish.
annoying.
CLG versus Golden Guardians, then we have 100 Thieves versus TL, and then we have Cloud9 versus EG. Now we don't have the Cloud9 versus EG odds at the moment, so I think we won't cover that match. We'll probably just cover it tomorrow in a separate episode standalone.
Assuming that those odds come out tomorrow.
Assuming
if they're delayed, then we'll do it whenever they come out.
Exactly.
Got time. It's Sunday. I should be included on this episode because I will. Actually, I don't have that many takes about
versus TSM. I don't really have much to say about this. Odds are 2.55 on TSM. Flyquest 1.52. Flyquest is just the better team across the board. They're more experienced. They have more pop-up players. They finished higher in this regular season split. Their stats say they're better. I really straight up, I would take Flyquest minus 1.5 at 2.08. I think that's a really good bet to make. I think you can also argue for the minus 2.5 at 3.96. I do think that Flyquest can be a bit sloppy though, so I would probably stack them actually, like we talked about before. Minus 2.5 on Flyquest and minus 1.5.
Flyquest are going to lose.
All right. Agree with you.
It's remarkable that
is it just because it's the LCS, or is there a rationale behind this?
You know, that factors in a little bit. I think TSM has shown signs of being half decent at points, but dude, I don't even know. I just have a weird feeling about this match for Flyquest. I think
TSM beat Flyquest back in July. Now Flyquest did beat TSM very recently on August 14th.
Yeah, but remember, it's a completely different roster.
I know.
So this is the thing. So July, you had the old roster. You had Huni, all of that. You don't have any of that anymore.
You know what is very interesting about Flyquest and TSM games? I think the problem for Flyquest is that TSM has such a disorganized garbage style of play that they force them to play well concentrated. Like, they force them to play scrappy league. And I think that will provide more of a problem for Flyquest than it will for TSM, because TSM has proven that in chaotic matches, there's an opportunity to thrive. That being said, last time they played, 37 kills.
They also have, on the other side, you have Takoi, who has shown how good he is. Philip, who also, despite having terrible last 3 games, the first game, if you give him the space, can take over. Now, I don't think Solo will give him that space. He's a veteran. He knows what he's doing, so I don't think Philip will carry from that. But Johnson and Afromu in the bot lane, definitely 2 players that are strong and, experienced enough. To me, Flyquest is just the better team.
They are. Unequivocally.
Without a doubt.
You already mentioned it. Like, all the stats support you.
Yeah.
This to me just... Win? There's just a feeling like I don't get invigorated by this Flyquest team, right? And
they're pretty boring.
I'm not gonna say that this TSM team's fucking making me feel different things below the pants either.
Yeah.
But what I will say is, in a game like this, so my favorite bet over 4.5. I love that right here. You get 2.64. To me, this is gonna be some sloppy league. With Flyquest coming off of Team Liquid, they're going to be used to a team playing a bit more advanced, a bit more tactically, a bit more like no mistakes.
Sure.
And I think that a little bit of TSM's kind of chaos might be able to actually be beneficial for them. And so, I don't know. I kind of love a +1.5 money line, -1.5 TSM bet, but I really love the over 4.5.
I think my key to coming away from this match P&L positive is taking kill overs. I think TSM is very good at making things messy and also only has a W key on their keyboard, similar to CLG. But league again, so you got to click. Just remember that. Don't forget it. Don't press your W key when you're trying to do things, because that will do an entirely different action if you're a league player. Over 23.5 and over 24.5, I think are pretty solid lines. Yeah, you're really going after it over there.
Yeah.
1.6 on over 23.5 and 1.86 on over 24.5, I think are solid. So, worth taking on that end. It's going to get bloody.
Yeah, I do agree with you, because if you look at the average combined kills per minute, team kills and opponent kills, TSM is number 1 with Cloud9 just behind. And they are a good 0.6 points above of the next team. So I think the only argument against that is that Flyquest is in 6th place, but they're right behind 100 Thieves in 5th. So it's quite a close pack between, third place
between last place and 3rd place?
Well, no, last place,
no, I know,
place
I'm
drops
joking.
off. But okay. I think it is going to be a bloody series.
Love it.
All right. Next one, CLG versus Golden Guardians. We kind of covered it. I thought CLG played really well in the first series. I was really impressed with the way they...
Are you concerned at all about a drop-off?
No.
Not at all.
I
don't even know if this is worth talking about. I feel like this is clear.
You see the way they played when they lost the matches against Cloud9? Didn't fucking slow them down. I loved it.
Yeah.
Either of you boys going to say anything about Golden Guardians?
There's nothing to say about them. They, like TSM, do not deserve to be here. Now, I don't think they have the capabilities of winning a playoff series, whereas TSM, if everything goes to plan, could at some point. This is for me, this is set in stone that CLG wins this pretty easily. Yeah, I don't even know if it's really worth talking about.
Doco's been playing so well. That whole team. I think -2.5 at 3.0 is fantastic. Yeah. -1.5 at 1.64 is a must bet for me.
1.69.
That's the lock.
I have 1.69.
Yeah, that's the lock for me.
Yep. -1.5, 1.69.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
it's already too memey not to bet.
And to be honest, -2.5 at 3.0 I think is pretty good. So I would take that.
So
I would stack him again, and just run it from that. I just have no faith in Golden Guardians. They lost something like 6 or 7. They lost 6 or 7 games in a row until that tiebreaker, and they managed to kind of eke out a win there. But it's just like a level of play that is abysmal, and they've shown so consistently that they are unable to close out games, whereas Counter Logic Gaming has done exactly the opposite. So
I mean, this is
if you're thinking anything else, all you need to do is go back and watch the Dig GG game, and you'll understand why this team is not capable of beating CLG. Because that was a shit show.
I also think, by the way, I think there's a real shot that CLG makes a deep run.
Oh,
this is how you started.
Scoot loves the lower bracket run.
This is how you started.
And when you look at the game that they lost to Cloud9, some very small, easily fixable mistakes. It's like, Dokla, don't be up top like that when there's no one on the map. Luga, don't fucking dive a bush like that. Don't flip a Baron that you don't have to flip. And those are some easy to fix mistakes. It's not a, hey, you're just not a good enough player. And if they fix those, they beat Cloud9 by 3-1.
Not to crush your dreams.
Yeah.
It will. So they're going to beat GG. Then they're either going to play Team Liquid, 100 Thieves. I don't think they could play Cloud9 again. No,
because the bracket flips, unfortunately. Right. So it's like you can't play them again until later on. So,
but you could play EG though if they lost, right? Like, isn't it like some sort of?
No, they would play if basically they played the loser of TL 100 Thieves.
Right. Okay.
But I mean, like, playing GG is almost a playground to take risks and try things out.
But they're not beating 100 Thieves or TL.
No, they're not.
So they're not. This isn't much of a run.
I know, but
to capture something like EG did last split, you have to be a certain amount of creative. Like, and I don't know if like CLG's drafts are that inspiring as a viewer. So like,
all right,
like EG popping off Nocturne comps in playoffs out of nowhere for Engage.
Loved it.
Key to them just destroying teams. It was awesome. Like, that's shit that people want to see. One, it also shows that you are not as scared of your opponent at all, and you are going to fucking kill them if you get the chance. And it worked. And they learned from their mistakes too. So if CLG does, I mean,
All right, and now we have the real match that we all have been waiting to discuss: 100 Thieves versus TL. So we didn't talk so much.
As dead even as it gets.
Yeah, I think TL versus Flyquest showed that TL does. They're starting to play better together, and they're starting to figure out the way they want to play, which is through Hunt Summer, as you correctly highlighted. I think there are weaknesses.
Which, by the way, took them long enough, but that's the right choice.
Yeah. There was issues. Core JJ on an Enchanter is not great. Not because he isn't great, but I think so much of when teams play with Core, they try to play through his engages and his shot calling. I think there was still some, Bwipo moments. But this is a really exciting series, and I think like when we talk about the ADC matchup, who's better than FBI and who? To be honest, I think we're robbed in the All Pro. I think they deserve to be first or second team because the whole of 100 Thieves has been playing so well the second half of the split. They're playing so well as a team. And every individual player is having pop-off moments. Closer, Abadage is playing like the best mid. Ssumday is in runner-up conversations for MVP. Closer also, people are saying like, is his impact on the team even more so than Ssumday? And then because of these three players shining so strongly, FBI and Hoodie's performance, which is possibly the best in the bot lane. I don't know what's going on there.
Shockable.
Anyway, surprise, surprise. I'm saying I think 100 Thieves is just the better team. I think they've been playing better, and I think the last time they matched up, despite TL getting the advantage, getting ahead, 100 Thieves played the game, knew how to control the map, and still won the match. And that is exactly what I said Flyquest couldn't do to TL, and exactly what I think 100 Thieves can do to TL. And I think every game where TL gets a lead, they suck in the late game, and I think 100 Thieves knows exactly how to play them. They'll play them like a fiddle to an easy 3-1 victory. So I'm taking
I think 100 Thieves understands
on 100 Thieves at 2.74.
I think 100 Thieves understands the win con in a match against TL way more than TL understands the win con in a match against 100 Thieves, if that makes any sense. And I also think that 100 Thieves has players that make them capable of kind of drafting TL into a corner a little bit, where they can just pretty much hard counter Santorin and Hansama through the draft. I mean, you can't counter both of them because they'll probably prio pick one of the two. But I think once you do that, it makes it very available to like know that you're going to ban champs for them specifically. And TL's been winning a lot through Santorin, setting up engage or getting assists, especially on Trundle. But I mean, they showed that they can play through Hans, which I think has been somewhat of an issue at times late in games. But yeah, I listen. 100 Thieves, I already have them winning playoffs. Like I had that from the beginning, so can't be betting them against them here. It feels set in stone for me because I've already written this one for myself. So taking 100 T.
I'm really gonna surprise you on this, Nikki. I think you're gonna get 100 Thieves -2.5. I think that to your point,
5.5. Oh,
I get -2.5 for 5.8.
Oh.
And I'm ready to stack them. 5.8, 2.78, and the 1.88 for the win -1.5, -2.5. To me, look, I think that Team Liquid's a good team, and unquestionably, like when you look at the roster, right, like great player, great player, great player. I think it's a bad matchup for these teams. In the past 2 times that they've played, 100 Thieves have solidly beat Liquid. Now, of course, when you're playing a best of 5, things are changing, right? You're able to kind of learn and then adapt and all that stuff. But to your point, this 100 Thieves team is better than they were last year.
Yeah.
When they won the playoffs, specifically the championship. And so, to me, this is a team peaking at the exact right time, going up against a team in Liquid that good, but these are the matches where the best teams shine. They really do. And to me, Thieves have been a best team. If you want, I mean, I think -2.5 getting a bit aggressive. I think realistically, you're going to definitely get a -1.5 to your point.
Yeah.
But to
at
me, this
5.5
is
odds, like that's sort of, it could be a 3-0 that's incredibly close. 5.8 you said is like, I don't know. I think this 100 Thieves team, I think they do a bad job of the PR of pumping the players up. I think EG does an incredible job of pumping their players up.
They're too busy with the LA Thieves.
Yeah. And I think they're
2 in 1 year.
I think they're overlooked, and I think people are ignoring the things that it's like, hey, best split ever. Like you said, better than last year when they won. I think this is 100 Thieves that's going to come up against EG in the finals, and I think they're going to win.
I mean, yeah, you say that they haven't pumped them up, but at the same time, like that just shows that there's a focus on this isn't about like having the best split ever. This is about winning a championship.
Yeah, but I would
like
like them to
that is
win
always the
all
goal.
pro teams a bit higher.
Yeah,
Could have pumped them.
Sure, I mean, like maybe they got robbed or whatever, but like end of the day, none of that shit matters if you win, and they all know that.
Yeah,
and I think they all know that they're very capable of doing it.
And
I will harp on these drafts though, because if you go back and look at that prior match, they let Bjergsen have Azir, I think, in that match, and I think that was a priority pick too early because Azir has been very meta, but it almost looks like after that, Liquid is scrambling to find something to counter 100 Thieves with, especially while they're hot. Like, this draft is all over the fucking place. And then you find 100 Thieves on a lot of, like, very comfortable picks.
Yeah.
So, the Talia, though, it's gonna be crucial in this series, I think, at points.
Great when we saw.
I mean, the walls are, like,
was so good.
You got Abadage one with insane CS numbers on the champ, but then you throw in the fact that you just have a giant wall that can split your engage, and if you're throwing it properly, I think like very difficult champion to beat. Honestly,
it's just about like playing as a team, and I think I do still think that TL is not playing as a team as well as 100 Thieves, and I think that's what's got to make all the difference.
I think the only team that could beat 100 Thieves is EG. Yeah. And honestly, not even I need to see them. Convinced. I'm not convinced right now. I really need to see them. I really need to see how they play against Cloud9. Like, we don't have the odds up. I need a 3-0 out of EG. And by the way,
you guys are hopping on my schwaggin.
Sorry,
now, because I walk into playoffs. I'm like 100 Thieves, it's 100 Thieves split. Everyone's like, oh no, but I'm not sure they can overcome EG. And now it's just look at this. Look at these guys.
I'm with you.
Now I feel the need to pick something else. Like now I feel the need to be like, oh, C9's gonna fucking win. That would be awesome.
It's a shame you won't be on that episode.
The fun thing
is... No, I'll be on that fucking episode. I'm gonna make my way.
playing 100 Thieves twice for these playoffs, so they'll get a good look at each other.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know if that's true.
Oh, you think EG gets upset?
Dude.
By TL?
I think a lot of shit can get messy in this lower bracket. This is, I think there's CLG is a little underrated. Like we've already talked about, they could beat a team when they need to. So.
Cloud9
is not look great,
also not
but
looking as bad as they used to.
I mean,
yeah,
this is not the Cloud9.
That's basically what we say about the LCS.
No, but their experience broke through a little bit, and I think that is extremely crucial for them to be good right now. So that's also iffy. You throw in TL, looks a little bit better. Granted, like that was a free win, but they funneled resources to the right places, made the right decisions. They're looking dangerous. Now it's like the team that was counted out last split is now the favorite. If they drop into a lower bracket, could get very interesting. I think Chris and I might see a very, very good losers final on that Saturday. Whoever ends up there, there's like a lot of really good options.
Wish I could be there to join you guys.
It's gonna be lit.
Great.
United Center's gonna be rocking, baby.
I think that wraps it up. So that is the LCS edition. We are not covering the Cloud9 matchup against EG because we don't have the odds. So we'll do a standalone for that one. You can find it on our YouTube at Bo3 Network.
Check out our LEC podcast that we just recorded.
Make sure
also
to subscribe.
Keep the merch.
You guys are the worst at interrupting at the outros. I fucking hate you guys.
Fuck all right. You. We're going to go on.
So subscribe, hit that bell. Please like, comment on this one. If you're subscribed, you will get the notification when the Cloud9 EG episode comes out. We also recorded a separate LEC episode, which BMB just talked about, covering round 1 matchups over there. That one is live, so make sure you check that one out. And yes, Scoot is wearing some sick merch. The two of them, as they talked about, will be attending the LCS finals in Chicago. Make sure you go try to find them. There might be a sneaky hoodie in it for you. It is lovely. It has a big ass logo. It's very comfortable.
Extremely comfortable.
We love it. So
I'm telling you.
We love the hoodie. We love the logo. We love ourselves. And most of all, we love you guys. So thank you for tuning in and supporting us. And we will see you all next week.
Well, you'll see him later in the week for the C9 match, right? Yeah. Hopefully. Unless
all right, we'll see you next week.
Unless you guys cut me out of that one. That's been said. Peace out.